Well, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to another week with Fathers Who Care. But you know, as always, what we do here at Fathers Who Care, we just try to bring to you information that we've found to be rewarding, nurturing, encouraging, motivational, and we do the same thing. We're trying to locate individuals who have labored in the field to really make a difference in the lives of folks in the community. So we try to make sure that we bring to you, the viewing audience, individuals who are providing quality programs and quality services for individuals in our community, who are really trying to make a difference in our community, who are really going out there laboring to make sure that folks in our community have quality programs, quality services, and real true advocates for social change. I really like individuals who are working together to make a difference. And you know what I mean when I say work together. I mean we're collaborating with each other, we're communicating with each other, we're doing what we can to empower each other and each other's agency. And so, Bradley, tell us who you are, what you do at St. Joseph Services.
Okay. Well, Reverend, my name is Bradley Johnson, of course,
Right.
and I'm the director for St. Joseph Services programs here in the Austin community on the
Okay.
west side of Chicago.
Yes.
If I would describe who I am, what I am is I'm a man who has a desire and I have a passion to transform our community from the inside out. I grew up understanding and knowing that when you heard about the West Side, every time you heard it, it was a negative connotation.
Yeah.
When you heard about African American black folks,
Yeah.
there was always a negative connotation. And my desire and the chip that I have on my shoulder and my passion is to flip the script. I want to rewrite how we are viewed. I want to rewrite how our community is seen and transform it so that individuals living within it can have something positive to look forward to and to grow from.
Well, you know, you're being rather modest, you know, and you went straight to your passion, and I appreciate that. But you also have done 12 years in juvenile detention center for Cook County, right?
Correct.
So you actually have seen both sides.
I
So
sure
you understand the passion. You understand what these young folks need. You've been working you started off as a volunteer for St. Joseph, right?
Correct.
And you worked there to understand it. Your passion was so strong there that you worked there for how many years now before you became the director?
Well, it's going on 6 years now.
6 years.
Right. So I came in as a volunteer. A friend of mine told me to come by because he knew I worked at the juvenile at one time, and so he did the Sunday basketball. He told me to just come on by,
Right.
come and volunteer because I just happened to be back at my mom's house,
Yeah,
right there on
yeah.
the west side. And so I came over
In
and
the Austin
in
community.
the Austin community,
Yeah.
on Laramie.
On Laramie.
And so
You know where's that?
I happened to come on by and see those young men playing basketball in that gym room, and it just lit the fire inside of me
It don't
because
take
that's
much,
something
does it?
I've always wanted to
See,
do. I have a
and,
background in
and I'm
ministry.
glad you said that, Bradley, because you know I think we was talking earlier, and I was saying to you and Lisa as we were sitting down talking and just sharing what we do and why we do it. You know, folks can't actually do this work if they don't have a heart for it.
That's true.
I mean, this is something. This is a ministry in my mind. Now, other folks may call it a job if they want to call it that. I don't particularly call it that. I particularly call it my purpose. So, Bradley, tell us, what is your purpose? What is your reason for existing? Who are you?
At the end of the day, I'm a father. That is exactly, I've been a father my entire life. Even when I was a young boy, there's 9 of us. I have 8 siblings, and I'm next to the baby. So my older sisters, once they got married, they started having kids, and I was, babysitting, watching kids when I'm 12 and 10 years old.
So you always had that nurturing
I've always
spirit.
had that nurturing spirit and that desire inside of me. So I've been a father.
So
my
you're a
whole life.
father. So how many children do you have?
I
You're a
have
father
5.
now,
I'm a father now. I have
and that's
5.
your purpose.
I have 5 children, but I love being a father. People ask me, how could you do that? You raise kids. I'm always raising kids.
Yeah.
I have kids outside of my kids. Well, my daughter already, she said, I'm so jealous. Everybody considers you a dad. But that's the role I play. And it's my desire. I want to make sure that every young person knows that they're special, know that there's something inside of them.
Look, and we're going to come back with that. Now, this is how this show works. I can talk with you all night because I love that passion. But what happens here is, we kind of open up. The phone lines are now open. Give us a call at 312-738 1060. We're talking about how to bridge the generational gaps and how can we continue to provide warm and nurturing environments to empower our young folks and our future leaders. We want to know, what are you doing? What can we do to work together to empower these young folks? We just can't keep saying that's not our problem. It is our problem, all right, because we have been called on to be the vanguards of our community, and we must stand up, and we must let these young folks know when men stand up, little boys sit down. We got a caller, Bradley. Let's take the call.
Okay.
Thank you so very much for calling. Your comment or question. We have Brother Bradley Johnson on the show tonight from St. Joseph Services. He's the director of St. Joseph. What's your question?
Yes, hello, Roseanne. This is Stephen.
What's going on, Sir Stephen?
Yes, my question is, do you believe there are gaps within certain communities? If so, what can be done to bridge those gaps?
Okay, thank you, Stephen.
Now, when you say gaps, are you referring to a generational gap?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go with that one.
Oh, well, there's definitely a gap.
How can we bridge them?
Well, it takes educating or re-educating our older population to understand and see our youth a different way.
Okay.
And I found a way to do that was I have my young people doing things that's outside of the normal stereotype of a thug or somebody hanging out on the street. I have them, we'll go out and take the kids out and we go clean up the neighborhood. Or we'll have our young men tutoring and after school program and working with youth and working with kids so that adults will have to reframe what they're seeing. Or when they come to our after school program, they see our young men teaching and they actually do curriculum. They actually do lesson plans and working with kids, our most precious commodity. I think that what it will is readjust the way that they're viewed. But also on the other end, for the young person, it gives them an opportunity to demonstrate or show something more about themselves that's bigger than what is typically expected of them.
So tell me this here. We're gonna listen. You're watching Fathers Who Care. We got Bradley Johnson on the show, the director of St. Joseph Services, and we're talking about what can we do to bridge the generational gaps while empowering our future leaders. And we're here to really talk about seriousness now. This show is really about what we can do to keep empowering these young folks. And we want to talk about positive programming and positive agencies that are out here, particularly St. Joseph Services. So if someone was particularly in the Austin community, and they wanted to be involved, be it volunteer, or they had some young folk who wanted to be actively involved in St. Joseph and some of these services that you're providing, how could they get in touch with you guys?
Well, number one thing, they can always go online. To our website, to www.stjosephservices.org. And on that page, there is a tab for volunteering.
Yeah, that is right there.
So that's not a problem either.
Now, what's the number?
If you wanted to reach us, you can call us at 773-278-0484.
So there you have it. Now, and you can log on to www.stjosephservices.org. Now, tell us, you have other particular services that you provide. You provide services for the adults as well, right?
Well,
let's take this call and we're gonna come right back to you. Do you mind?
No problem.
Listen, let's take the caller. Caller, thank you so very much for calling. We have Brother Brother Bradley on the show from St. Joseph Services. What's your comment or question, please?
Brother Bradley, I have a question for you. Being a mentor, do you or your organization go into different public schools to mentor to youth? And if so, how can you all be reached to try to get you to come into schools, because our youth need a lot of mentoring in the public schools.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Right. Well, it's a matter of, I would assume it's a local school council, but public schools and a lot of, sometimes it's really hard to get into.
Right, if you're not a vendor.
To schools.
Right.
It's really hard to get into
So
schools.
do you have any programs that you do in schools?
Well, the programs we do in schools are, we are inside of St. Angela School right now, but that's a private school.
Now that's over there off of...
It's on, it's 1332 North Massasoit.
Right, okay.
So it's near Division and North Avenue. But as far as for youth within the community, what we do offer is every weekend we do programs at the Austin Community Resource Center, which is at 501 North Central Avenue, which
Okay,
is
that's the old.
the old YMCA.
Okay, go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
now it's a collaboration of community programs there that exist, and there's mentoring programs. There's that.
So if they're interested, they can come to 501.
501 North Central.
That's off of Central and Race.
It's Central and Race.
The old Y.
The old YMCA.
Okay.
Exactly. And so there's a number of programs also for mentoring. But just to answer your question, as far as mentoring, we offer weekend programming. So particularly on Sundays right now, but also there every day of the week there's something going on there. So that's a good place to start. But unfortunately, I would say that within the public schools, it's not as easy as you would think it is, just to come in and do certain things. But within the community, there exists programs and young men available who would work with young people. And I know for myself in particular, I work with young adults all the way through from
Emerging
well,
adults.
that I was going to
Go ahead.
I work with young adults all the way down to preschoolers.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of coming in contact
Yeah.
with them. And it doesn't take a whole lot. All it takes is for me, and I have a desire, and really I have a passion for anything that, or anyone that somebody calls the worst or bad.
Let's get you another caller. Thank you so much for calling. Caller, your comment or question, please. We have Bradley on the show from St. Joseph Services. Your comment, please.
How you doing? This is Brother DeAndre, of course, calling in. I'm enjoying the show. I just want to say, Brother Bradley, I'm enjoying what I'm hearing, and I just want to commend you and encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. The same to you as well, Reverend Jones. Keep doing what you're doing. The question I have, I hear you're helping communities and generations come together. But as different organizations, I guess I could say, what are the things that you can do? Because both of you are young, not young, but of course organizations trying to help young people. And so what are the different things that you can do to come together and partner up and get young people to just, do more and help other young people?
You're saying what we can do
What can we
or
do?
what we can do with you?
Well, not with me, but as a whole, as a young you.
So he wants to know about our collaborating and how we
okay.
can come together
Right.
and empower these young folks.
Well, when I think about it, I would say from what I've done is by bringing in young folks and working with them. But everybody is not in that mindset. So a lot of it is kind of the biggest obstacle a lot of times is breaking down stereotypes, especially of young black men.
Like what stereotype?
The stereotype of being feared.
Okay.
I would say there's
Okay.
nobody more feared than young black men. If you're
Okay.
outside, even, everybody's afraid of young black men. And to try to break a lot of those assumptions down, and through mentoring, through education, and do different things, and even just me working with emerging adults or young guys, where I just school them on this is how you do this, and this is how you handle that situation, this is how you do that. But as far as opportunities or ways to do different things, I would think give the young people opportunities to come together. But we also have to get where the older generation, we give an opportunity for the young people to come and
Absolutely.
state
Absolutely.
what it is that they want, what it is that they need. And sometimes just in them stating it, they'll hear themselves also where they could balance it out and say, well, okay, well, that's not rational or whatever. And us older folks, we can pretty much help them to streamline what it is they want.
I agree with you, and this young man, he's speaking specifically because he want to know, and I really believe that what we can do as more mature mentors in the community is to listen to these young folk, to have a listening ear, not be so judgmental.
Exactly.
And even though I'm a minister, I don't particularly like to preach to them unless they've done something wrong and they deserve that preaching.
Exactly.
All right, and then they're gonna get it. But for the most part, I like to keep it real with the young folks. I like to be like they call me cool. They be telling me I'm swag. I got some swag.
Right, yeah,
so
they tell
I
you that.
like that. I think that means that I'm cool. I'm
Right.
turned up. Is that right there? Is that right there, DeAndre?
Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, so let's go to another question. Listen, you're watching Fathers Who Can. We have the guests on this evening, Mr. Bradley. Mr. Bradley is from St. Joseph
Joseph Services.
Services. So give us a call here, 312-738-1060. How can we bridge the generational gap and empower young folk to be the best that they can be? What can we do to provide nurturing environments for these young folks so they can have a safe haven, so they can get off these streets? Now, I'm not talking about another one of those agencies where you just bring folk in for the dollars and keep them in for the dollars and send them on out there worse than what they were when they came in. I'm talking about providing quality programming every day. Is that all right?
That's right.
So tell
That's
us,
right.
listen, we was talking about getting more men involved with these young folks, and there seems to be a shortage. I don't know. I see it. And I see a lot of men. The most time I see most men there in church. Good place for them. But, young folks don't go there.
Exactly.
They kind of refrain from going up in the church because they don't want to be preached at, because they really want someone who being chilled with them and listening to them. If you feel like you want, you can't chop a person up because they said a bad word. Hell, you said one before too.
Right, exactly.
And you
Exactly.
ask something too.
Exactly.
So, you got to be a little bit more compassionate, more sympathetic to these young folk. But you got to listen to them. Let's get this call and deal. I want to
Okay.
ask you a question
Okay.
about what can we do to empower these young folks, to bring more men into the programming, to bring more young folks together so they feel more comfortable about coming into these agencies. Is that okay?
Okay.
So we're going to talk about that. We're going to go to the caller. Caller, your comment or question?
Yes. My question is, what does it mean to work as a team in the community?
Thank you. Thank you for that comment. He said, "What?" We was going there. What does it mean to work as a team? I believe teamwork makes the dream work.
Well, that's exactly true.
So what does
And
it mean to work as a team?
what it means to work as a team is not recreating the wheel. That means that you don't need to have each person struggling to survive. If say for instance you, Reverend, you have a great mentoring program, and then I have a good athletic program, and then sister over there has a great art program, and then someone else right down the corner, they do a culinary program.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a good community would be, okay, now I have a group of kids and I want to educate them. That means I want them to be well-rounded and holistic.
yeah.
So I'm going to
Options.
get them,
Yeah.
give them the options, and I'm going to let them taste a little bit of all of that, because that's the best way. And that takes me to something else. Forget all that say no to drugs and say no to sex. Say no doesn't work. What works is options and opportunities to be compared to.
Yeah,
So if you have different opportunities, you can say, well, I could do this or I could do that.
You're watching Bradley Johnson, who's the director of the St. Joseph Services in the Austin community. Where are you guys located?
We're currently, my office is based at 1332 North Massasoit, which is at St. Angela's School.
Okay. And what time do you have services? Or do
Okay.
you have programs?
Well, we actually have programs in Humboldt Park as well as in the Austin neighborhood.
Okay, what time in Austin?
So in Austin, it's from 3 to 6,
Okay.
Monday through Friday over at St. Angela's School.
Okay.
And we work with students from pre-K all the way through 8th grade. And then on Sundays, we do programs at the Austin Community Resource Center, and that's Sundays from 12 to 3. So we have a program we call Beyond Basketball, where we open up the gym, they play basketball, but we also we mentor. We have young men on our staff who coach and work with these young community kids from all over the neighborhood. They come in and
Why don't
they
you
play.
explain these programs that you got there?
Okay, well, I mentioned after school program. I mentioned Beyond Basketball, where I mentioned that, which is really important to me. That's really important because that ties in with our open gym program, which we put those together, Beyond Basketball and open gym, because I'm recreating what I did in working with the young men who are currently on my staff, who came in as Sunday open gym basketball participants, and now they're employees.
Right.
So each week.
That gym did it.
Exactly. The gym was
now
a draw.
folks talk about the gym. Folks talk about basketball not being a good deterrent. Folks talk about why you giving them basketballs? Why didn't you do some other stuff? But I'm thinking that I really do believe that sports activities, recreational activities is a good catalyst for bringing some folks in and from keeping folks off the street.
Exactly.
Do you think that's true?
Well, it's definitely true. My philosophy is that for our kids, and me being a product of the Austin community. I noticed that our kids, they had a hard exterior. And so in order for you to make any kind of connection with them, any type of relationship,
Yeah.
you got to play with them first. They have to see you engage with them first before they let any walls down. Like I'll be posting a guy up with the ball. I'm like, so how's school going?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
could have a
yeah,
conversation
yeah.
after, they could shoot, I could talk stuff and all that, but we can have a conversation now. They see I'm a real person.
Let's
and I'm
let's get
really-
another call, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about some more of your program. Listen, you on the air? Your comment or question, please.
Good evening, Reverend Jones. This is Deonde Brown Whitfield. How are you?
Well, hello. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
What's your comment or question this evening? Thank you so much for calling.
You're welcome. And to the young gentleman next to you that's doing what he's doing in the Austin community in Humboldt Park, congratulations and keep
Thank
up
you.
the good work.
Okay.
I was listening to what you were saying, and the whole key is collaboration. It's not so much with people trying to use what you're trying to do and take it from you and, pick your brain and tweak it, but it's a matter of working together so that we can be able to create safer environments so that our young people can feel empowered.
I have
And-
to. I apologize, dear. They blinking this light on me. So would you give
Okay.
us a call back at the office, please?
Okay.
Thank you so much. I
God
apologize
bless
for
you.
that.
Keep up the great work.
Listen, and we're going to
Thank
do
you.
it. We're going to see you soon. And for additional information about St. Joseph Services, you can give us a call there at 773-278-0484
84.
or 85, right?
Correct.
Listen, for additional information, please give us a call. Listen, this has been a fun show. Thank you so much for getting in touch. So give us additional calls and let us know what you're up to, what you're doing. God bless you. Good night. And thank you so much for calling. It's been fun. Good night.
Good night.